An injury with the potential to send shockwaves across the NFL. Patrick Mahomes expected to miss time with a knee injury. I'm Alex Barth, joined by Evan Lazar. This is the Patriots Press Pass from Gillette Stadium. Patrick Mahomes last night, Thursday Night Football, goes in for a quarterback sneak, dislocates his knee. The reports today are he's expected to miss time about a month. Now, there's a lot of different directions we can go from here, Evan. Let's start with Mahomes himself. He's not expected to be out for the season. He should be back for the playoff push. But as we know, once you're hurt during an NFL season, you never really fully recover during the offseason. It's his knee. He's a mobile quarterback. What kind of effect will this have on Mahomes when he does eventually return?
This reminds me of Aaron Rodgers a few years ago. I think he played through a sprained MCL for most of the season, and he basically became a pocket quarterback. And when you have a guy like Patrick Mahomes, Mahomes can still be very effective from the pocket. Don't get me wrong. He's still extremely dangerous. But what makes Mahomes even more dangerous is a lot like Aaron Rodgers is improvisation, right? Going outside the scheme, moving around, extending plays with his legs, and then making those crazy off-platform throws down the field. That's what makes Patrick Mahomes the MVP. He can still be a very good quarterback from the pocket. If I'm the Chiefs, though, I'm careful about this. I'm really careful. Now, there's two kind of angles about this, though. The first one is that they have this window with Patrick Mahomes on his rookie contract where they can stack the roster around him because he's not making a ton of money. In a few years, they're going to have to pay Patrick Mahomes.
$40 million, right?
Right. He's going to break the record books by far for the biggest contract in NFL history. When that point in time comes, it's going to be a little bit harder to keep the rest of the guys around. So there is a window here on his rookie deal, similar to how the Rams had that window with Jared Goff on his rookie deal. But the other thing is that you're hoping that Patrick Mahomes is your quarterback for the next 10 to 15 years. And if there's any sort of structural damage done to his knee, you do really have to think about shutting him down, because having him out there limited, running around, he's not Aaron Rodgers. He's not 35 years old, where the years are kind of catching up to him and the career is kind of winding down. Mahomes has a whole 10 years ahead of him at least. Right. So you really need to be careful here if you're Kansas City.
And on top of that, that offensive line has been one of the worst in the league.
Yeah.
So do you want to put him back there behind a line where he's going to get hit? Yeah. He's going to take some shots. Defenders are going to know he's wounded back there. I think if I'm Kansas City, I'm surprised they're saying only a month.
Yeah.
I thought it would be longer, just purely out of caution. But maybe part of the reason is the Chiefs' backup. He's 35-year-old Matt Moore. He looked okay last night, but Denver's not great.
Yeah.
What can Matt Moore do in terms of the Chiefs' offense? Can he keep that offense afloat? Can he maybe go out there and win some ball games?
So the interesting thing is the Chiefs have slipped up a few times already this year. So they're 5-2 on the season. And then they have Green Bay, Minnesota, and Tennessee as their next three games without Patrick Mahomes. If they lose a couple more of those games, I think that Green Bay is going to be really difficult for them to win that game without Mahomes. If they lose a couple more of those games, the Patriots are 6-0. So catching the Patriots for the number one seed in the AFC is going to be really tough. Even getting a first-round bye might be kind of tough if they drop 2 or 3 of those games without Mahomes. So this team right now, Kansas City, does not have a great defense, right? And they're really built around their offense, putting up 30-plus points a game. If their offense can't do that against some pretty good teams, Minnesota, Green Bay, Tennessee, those 3 teams have playoff aspirations. This could get ugly for Kansas City in terms of the standings without Mahomes.
And I will say this, though, for Kansas City, even before Mahomes came along, with Andy Reid and Alex Smith, they were winning ball games. They couldn't get past the Patriots.
Smith is way better than Matt Moore.
He is, but my point is, it's not like it's totally Mahomes-driven. Reid can win with a quarterback lesser than Patrick Mahomes. It's again, they didn't get past the Patriots like that. When you're talking about, are they still a Super Bowl contender with Matt Moore? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be shocked if he just keeps them afloat. At the very least, the division shouldn't become an issue.
No, I don't think
Matt
so.
Moore,
and the touchdown pass that Matt Moore threw to Tyreek Hill last night was a great throw, but an absolutely great design by Andy Reid. It's a leak route where it really feels like it's a crossing route for most of it, and then Tyreek Hill ends up turning it into a wheel route. And Chris Harris, who's one of the best corners in the league, who was in defense on Tyreek Hill on that play, said after the game that he has never had that route run against him in his entire career. A wheel route from the slot really took him by surprise, and that's why Tyreek Hill got behind him.
This edition of Patriots Press Pass is brought to you by Keeps. If you want to take the first step against hair loss, visit keeps.com/garden for your first month free. Again, that's Keeps, KEEPS.com/garden for your first month free. Now, I mentioned at the top, this has wide-ranging effects, this Mahomes injury, outside the Kansas City Chiefs. We have talked in the past about how the Chiefs are maybe falling in those AFC power rankings. Even with Mahomes healthy, I had them at 4 behind the Texans and the Bills.
Sure.
Now, Yeah, I did.
Whoa.
I did. Bills defense is legit.
I was coming with the takes here today.
Who's the worse unit? Let me ask you this: who's the worse unit?
Yeah.
The Bills offense or the Chiefs defense?
Bills offense.
I see. I don't know about that.
Bills offense.
That Chiefs
definitely.
defense is bad.
Have you seen Josh Allen?
Have you seen the Chiefs defense?
The Chiefs defense put up 9 sacks last night.
Okay, against
Denver.
Joe Flacco.
Okay, but
I could sack Joe Flacco.
All right. Well, now we're
Oh,
we're
okay,
getting
let
into
me
semantics
give
here.
you the number.
Yeah.
The offensive ranking for the Bills offense, they are 15th,
Yeah.
right in the middle of the league. The Chiefs defense going into last night, I don't have the new numbers, but through 6 weeks, the Chiefs defense was 28th.
No, the Chiefs defense is a weakness, but their formula is to lean on the offense and have their defense just keep it together, right? In this league, if you have a quarterback like Josh Allen that's going to throw 3 picks like he did against the Patriots, you're not going to win too many games in the playoffs. Like, you can't win like that. You can win with an okay defense. You can win with a great defense and an okay offense, and vice versa. You can't win with a really, really bad unit. And I don't know if the Buffalo Bills even have anything to really hold their hat on offensively, besides maybe the running game.
I would say that about the Chiefs defense. I would call them a really, really bad unit.
They're a bad defense. I agree.
Without Mahomes, and they're going to be on the field.
I just think
more
Mahomes
now.
and Reed are good enough that they can cover up the defense. I'm not sold on what's going on in Buffalo quite yet to give them that benefit
Without
of the doubt.
Mahomes, though.
Yeah.
Without Mahomes and that defense, they're going to have some shorter fields to protect. They're going to be on the field more.
Sure.
They're going to have closer games they're going to have to deal with. I'd be worried about that defense.
Yeah.
But ultimately, the point of this question, what does Mahomes' injury do for the AFC playoff race? Who's coming in here the second last Sunday in January?
That's a good question. I still think it's going to be the Chiefs. I really believe a lot in Mahomes. I mean, it's hard not to. You watch the guy play. You watch Andy Reid scheme up in ways that he can find Mahomes' ability to find guys down the field. Just, is there a better? I know everybody does. The opinions on Tyreek Hill I understand off the field. Is there a better kind of pairing than Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill in terms of skill set?
Right.
Like a guy that can take the top off like Tyreek Hill with the biggest arm in the league. Like, there's really no better pairing than that. So I still think that Kansas City has that trump card where they have the MVP of the league. They have Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. I don't know if there's a lot of teams that can keep up with that offensively. Like a team like the Bills, I think the Bills defense could give Kansas City's offense some problems, but can they outscore the Chiefs?
Enough.
I don't really know. Same situation for the Bills against the Patriots. Well, it's really the same thing.
I just meant the Bills right now have been more impressive than the Chiefs. I don't know that they're beating Kansas City in a playoff game, and that might end up being a thing.
Don't sleep on Houston, though. Like, I really like Kansas City. I really am going to ride Kansas City all year long. The only reason why I would sleep on Houston is because we've seen Bill O'Brien try to coach big games, and he can't do it.
That's what I wanted to say is I want to say Houston so bad, but
Houston has the best roster in the AFC outside the Patriots.
Such an issue in big games. They did go into Kansas City and beat the Chiefs a couple weeks ago with Patrick
Biggest
Mahomes.
win of O'Brien's tenure,
so that kind of gives me hope. But the question is, I think what it comes down to, divisional weekend, I guess this wouldn't happen divisional weekend, but if the Chiefs had to go into Houston to play a playoff game and Mahomes isn't 100%, how would that look? If the Chiefs have to face the Bills in Kansas City wild card weekend, how would that look? That kind of thing. So again, it just, there really is now. We thought it was going to be the Patriots and the Chiefs at 1 and 1A, and then maybe Houston and then everywhere else.
Yeah, we've been coasting to that point all year where we're just kind of waiting to get to that AFC Championship
the Patriots have pulled. We were waiting for Patriots-Chiefs.
Yeah.
Now we're waiting for Patriots ?
Yeah.
Because they've just pulled so far away from the pack, and there's still a lot of
football to be played. There's going to be somebody in this video that's going to be like, don't, count your eggs before they hatch or whatever.
No, there's still a lot of football to be played. There's still a lot that can happen. The Patriots could fall back to the pack. The Chiefs could win out.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they only have 2 losses, and you're looking at an important game when they face off here in December. But we've rambled on for this a long time.
Classic.
So leave it all in the comments. Again, this video has been brought to you by Keeps.com. Take the first steps against hair loss. Visit KEEPS.com/garden for your first month free. For Evan Lazar, I'm Alex Barth. Thanks for watching.